There's certain standards, though, that you guys have established over the directors. We've had some amazing directors this year.
Yeah, getting to work with Frank Darabont this year was really, really cool. You know, it's always great to work with our, semi-regulars like Paris Barclay, who's directing tonight, and Guy Ferland, and Dean White, and, we gave a couple of people who've really labored very hard for the show. Gwyneth, our first AD, and Ron Schmidt, our DP, got opportunities to direct for the first time during these 21 episodes. Gwyneth got to do it twice. So to see them succeed has been really rewarding.
Yeah.
We do like to try to find new directors as much as we can, but there's also something very nice when we have a director and they do an amazing job and they want to come back. We certainly, and Sean certainly wants to extend an invitation for them to come back.
All the directors on our show are very talented, and they're all good, and some have higher profile than others. But it's just as nice to have Gwyneth, who was our first AD, become a director in our family, as it is to have a Frank Darabont or a David Mamet, I think. Because I don't know those guys, and it's fun, and it's good for the show to have a name like that come up.
I think what also just happens to be, too, is that there's a lot of, my understanding is that there's just a lot of the fans of the series happen to be directors that turn out to be sort of big names.
Each director brings something unique to The Shield. Having said that, The Shield kind of imposes something on each and every director. There's just a very basic, undeniable time pressure and sort of energy that goes into these episodes. So I was very interested with Frank Darabont to see how he was going to react to that. He certainly knew the show really well. He really loved the show. He'd come down and seen other people directing the show a few times before he did it. But his movies at that time, when you think about Shawshank Redemption or The Green Mile, they're very they're slower and they're more filmic. There's almost a melodic sort of nature to them, and which is very antithetical to what we do. So I was a little bit worried about that. Instead, he really embraced doing something different and taking our camera crew and saying, okay, let's do what we're doing. But he brought an energy and excitement to it, and he really focused, I think, on the storytelling and the actors.
I think we're going to have some incredibly consistent performances until they start to wear themselves out, because they're going to go full intensity, they're going to go balls to the wall. What I would really love to do, if this is okay with you, if it's a workable plan, is I would like to get in and get the coverage first. Let's save nice big wide
And then
eye charts for last.
That last one.
Absolutely. On like really emotionally intense scenes, I'm a big believer in, get it here first. Let the actors get in, because you don't want them to blow it out, when there's specs in the screen, So if that's cool with you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, awesome. I am a huge fan of The Shield. I saw the whole first season when the DVD first came out. I'd heard wonderful things about the show. I bought the entire first season on DVD, and I was stuck for like 2 weeks every night watching 2, 3, sometimes more episodes a night, because it just was like an instant love for what they had created, what they had done. I've been a rabid fan since that moment.
I think all of us were on our best behavior, and he quickly made himself so accessible that it made it so easy for all of us to fall into his world, and he was not afraid to share his enthusiasm for the work and his excitement for things that went the way that he wanted them to go, and it was I got to work with Frank Darabont. That's pretty cool.
I'd say on action, why don't we have you guys drifting in as if you guys don't know each other really well? Maybe you two guys could come in together, and then maybe let's bring you in from this direction. Let's bring Hyatt in from this direction. Do I have all 4 of you coming in?
No, I'm in already.
Oh, you're already. Hey.
Darabont was brand new, and he again was one of these people who approached us as a fan. And I remember he was always going to do the season before, or 2 seasons before, he came to watch an episode, and we thought, oh, cool, he's going to do one. It's great. He's a really nice guy. And then his schedule didn't allow it. And then I think the same thing happened in the season after that.
And action! Oh, I would have loved to have come on a little earlier, but I couldn't. I couldn't work it into my schedule. But I feel like I've come in at a wonderful point in the series, because there's no low point. Often television shows kind of have this sort of you know, they tend to dip in quality, or they dip in the originality of what they're doing. This has never lagged. Not one show, not one episode of this show has lagged at all. So this season is as vital to my eye as a fan as anything that they've done in the past. It's almost like they just keep getting better.
So finally, we actually had him scheduled, and we're like, that's really exciting. And we purposely wanted to have a really good script for obvious reasons, because he's a great writer. So we wanted it to be a really well-written script and a good story.
You know, there's something about the writer in him that I think really plugged into that particular story, and he just visually as a director hit every one of those story points that we needed to hit.
Fellas, here's the beat of the sequence. We're going to be bringing you up these stairs, down this walk. Vic, you're going to wind up here. Hyatt, you're going to wind up here. You're waiting for Vic's cue. You're going to notice that mirror in there. Now, what's going to happen is you've seen this guy in the mirror coming out of the shadows here to unload on you guys through the door. 3 rounds are going to come through the door. Do what comes naturally, which in my case would be, you know, fuck.
Oh, fuck, yeah.
You know? Look across at each other. Boom, 3 more rounds are going to come through the door. Somebody says it sounds like a 45, yeah?
Yeah, I do.
That's
a 45.
That's a 45.
Obviously. It doesn't mean, vests don't mean shit. That's a 45. Yeah. That's not gonna be worth shit.
But you also know he's got 8 rounds in that clip. He just fired 6 through the door. So if we can like add a quick line about that. He's got 2 left in the clip. In the clip.
2 left in the clip. Yeah, 2 left in the clip.
So then you guys rise. You're gonna give Hyatt the cue. Okay. Boom! Smash the door open.
Hit it.
Then come back, because Vic is gonna go boom, boom. He's falling back. You catch a quick glimpse of him falling back, and he's gonna unload the last 2 rounds. Boom, boom. Then you abandon and pull. That's 8. Let's go. Now you can't see where the guy is. You know the guy's got a gun trained right at the door. As that pops in.
He can't be right there.
I wouldn't stand there if I were you.
Oh,
Once that door pops, I'd be like this.
You said he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my area. But he can't be there. I'll hit him.
He'll be on the move.
Yeah, you got to be. I got to see like maybe a
glimpse of him
glimpse of him.
as he fires.
Yeah.
So no,
he's too close. I'll hit him.
He won't be standing there. He's going to be.
I'm going to be moving backwards like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to be a shadow, buddy. So I'm basically throwing a couple of suppressive shots there.
Yes.
Boom, boom, just to get him to shoot. His
Exactly.
other 2.
His
But
other 2.
my point is, once he's got those other 2, and I know he's
got
he's
to reload.
clipped out,
Yeah.
I would bolt at him. I wouldn't give him. I can't give him the time to reload. I'd have to go. That's 8, and I'd go.
Well, by the time you guys get down here, he could easily have reloaded, and you don't know what room he's in.
Oh, so you're playing it that he's happy that there's that separation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go.
Okay.
You're gonna then be in that room, and then it's playing the tension of you guys moving down here. What you do, Vic, is you've got an empty room here, nothing under the bed, possibly the bathroom. So you'll be coming into the bathroom to clear the bathroom. Meanwhile, Hyatt has come in here to clear this room. Hyatt, you come in here, make sure there's nothing here. You'll catch a glimpse of Shane outside the window. Once you realize this room is clear, you're coming back here to help Vic. Now, this guy, as soon as you've gone into the bathroom, this guy comes out of the closet. He sees Hyatt step back in, and he starts to unload on him as Hyatt dives back down that way.
So I come to here, and then I see him,
And it's like, fuck, yeah, exactly. Bullets are gonna rip through the wall, and Vic's gonna come out of here like a
banshee.
like a bull, like a bear. This is gonna be not so much a pop out, it's gonna be a where the fuck are these guys? Where the
Okay.
fuck are these guys? Suddenly, there's one of them, and you
Boom.
now you come
Okay.
out and start shooting,
Got it.
yeah? And Vic plasters you.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. We don't know if that's forearm or gun.
Yeah, our angle is probably going to be right here.
And Dwight, do you want me to come in and
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we may cut out of the scene as he gets him down, but we might as well, we might as well carry it through where you come in and you guys, cuff him. You got him on the bed, you cuff him.
Are you hit? No! I'm not hit, bitch!
You know, more often than not, we have to spend a lot of time in editing after we get a director's cut. Not because the director puts together a bad cut. We're just very specific about how we cut the show. You know, so we'll do a producer's cut, and then Sean will come in and spend, the time to get it where he wants it.
I mean, in this case, I hardly had to tweak it at all because he'd really nailed sort of all the story points.
Darabont literally turned in the first director's cut where Sean just watched it and essentially said, okay. And, it takes about a week of work off of his plate. So that's how well Frank took to it.
But honestly, it was more about him as a writer that we were all like, and the same thing with Mamet. We're like, this has to be the greatest TV script of all time. It's that pressure.
Yeah.
And it was a different adjustment. He wasn't used to TV, I don't think, although he'd done a pilot, to be fair. But our show was a lot more pages in a lot shorter time period, and a lot more run and gun. And he was really nervous about it, and we were nervous about him because we didn't know if he'd want to do more setups or if it would be, the show's very free form, and he adapted to it like that and fell in love with the style.
Fucking hell. Yeah, cut it! Wow, good. Woo! Oh man, tell me both cameras were rolling at the end.
They were.
For a guy like me, to come in and forget everything that I know about my style of filmmaking and completely embrace a new way of shooting something that I've never done before. It's a very improvised style. It's a very, I liken it. The difference is conducting a symphony orchestra and playing with a small hot jazz combo. And I love the way that these camera teams are improvising the coverage as they go. So I'm not the guy concocting the visual tonality. That's all in place. You just come in, you grab on, and you go along for the ride. And it's thrilling because you don't see casts like this. You don't see an ensemble like this very often. And you don't see the kind of passion that these people have for their work. This is not the jaded TV crew that's punching the clock, on some series. These folks are incredibly proud of what they do. They love the show, They love it as much, and they're as invested in it as I am as a viewer. And to come to work and see that kind of passion, and to let that sort of ignite me, in the workday, is wonderful. And then I get to get all giddy and excited because they're so damn good that I kind of reignite their passion, So it's this wonderful sort of symbiotic buzz that's going on the set. It's just wonderful. Honestly, I have not had more fun, just sheer fun, directing ever before as I'm having right now on The Shield.
We would love to get Frank back. We're trying to get him back for season 7, but he's a busy guy, So hopefully we have a slot open, and we're gonna juggle it around so we can get him in to do another one.
I think it's just a matter of word spreads. Directors work on The Shield. They tell their director friends, "Hey, it was wonderful. It was freeing. It was, I didn't feel like, every shot was predetermined. And it essentially probably feels a little more like it would feel on a movie set for the most part. So I think that environment sort of spread around, and before we knew it, directors of not that listen, there's some amazing TV directors. Maybe the best director we've ever had on The Shield was Scott Brazil. He's never directed a feature film, I don't believe, but he was a wonderful director. But I think it just allows them to sort of use their talents that on other shows they might not normally necessarily be able to use.
And cut.
I do feel like his last line, he realizes, like this moment right here, Shane realizes, and this one I think he's got to walk out with. It's okay. She might be reading me, so I have to totally play the good soldier.
So which is the line that you're
like? I think it's here. This last line that he leaves with. I think he's got to try to leave her so she's not suspicious. Like I think here when she says I'm not being comfortable. This is the first time I've ever worked with Paris, but Paris has directed before. I believe he's done 2 other shows. He's enjoyed it. He was we got very lucky because he had a scheduling opening and we were able to fill in that slot. Actually, originally Scott Brazil was going to direct the finale and unfortunately he passed away, and we were scrambling to fill that slot, and it just so happened that Paris had an opening, and we were lucky enough to get him.
Frankly, I found Paris and Frank very similar. They're both incredibly confident guys, very easy breezy. I think, the biggest difference is Frank had never worked on television before. He'd never had the experience of shooting 9 pages a day. But to his credit, he was never over on one single day. So it wasn't like he had a hard time making his days or anything because he was a feature guy. It wasn't like that at all. I think Paris is sillier. He comes in with his t-shirts and he's just, always sort of joking and goofing, but at the same time knows exactly what he wants and goes for it.
Here's what I'd like to see happen. I would like 3 things to happen at the very top of the scene all at once.
Okay.
So it doesn't seem to be bip bop, bip
Are you
bop.
wearing a 24 hat on my set?
Yes, sir.
24-hour fitness. Not that I'd care.
I never did 24. They never asked me. So. Yeah, that's true.
Love his t-shirt.
So here's what's going to happen. On action, if we can have...
Well, he's not our go-to director because he could direct way more, but he's very busy. And he had his own show last season. I forget what he was on. He was one of the executive producer director on something. So he's a very hard guy to get. His availability is not. But like this season, we're like, please come and do one, and he did one. So he's absolutely a huge television director.
Now, also rebound. At a certain point as you're walking down here, you're going to sense that Vic is coming behind you. You'll look, and then you'll start to go. That's when he's going to leap on you. So you'll start to feel, we'll give you a place to cue that, where you feel that he's behind you.
Oh, well, then if he's going to do that, maybe he'll actually get the gun out. Maybe he'll actually pull while you turn. You're right-handed, right?
Right.
Are you right-handed?
Yeah. Right.
So if you have a gun in your pocket and you feel me coming, and you turn and start to pull as you turn.
I don't think he ever pulls the gun on you, though, because that makes him something different.
Okay.
Because he's just an innocent little kid, little vagabond. So I think he just leaves the hand and starts to walk like, I'm not doing anything, I'm faster, but it's too late. Boom, just catch him just a little bit up. And he's almost this close to you anyway. By the time you sense that there's somebody behind you. Yeah, exactly. And then you get, boom, he's down.
Paris is one of those guys that we go to when we have really important episodes. We just know that he's going to get it. We know that we're going to get the coverage. We know that everything's going to come in on time. But we also know that we're going to get something special because that's just what he delivers. We have a lot of guys in our stable like that. DJ Caruso, Guy Ferland. Those are guys we go to because we know we're going to get the quality of work we're going to get.
That's it. Bye bye.
Kiki.
Oh, come on. No. It's the old ambulance drive-away shot. You know how many times I've done the ambulance drive-away shot in my career?
Still continuing? No, never. Never.
Think about it, you get rid of him for a while.
I know, exactly, and then you never come back.
Offering you that option.
Okay, so who wants to do what? We need some complimentary kiki. Then we need some Claudette kiki, moving through, blah, blah, blah. We need our officers doing some business. Where's Gwyneth? Officers are doing some business, blocking the door, talking with some suspects, blah.
Okay, good.
Make sure nobody gets hit by a car. Oh, you know what else we need in this one, that angle?
Yeah, I'm here.
We need the kid who's purportedly sitting there.
the thing I love about how Paris works is that he's just a guy who loves actors. He's a guy who loves the process, you know, and as much as he enjoys, you know, the beauty of the visual and understands the pace and the rhythm of TV and working within a 7-day shoot, he's also the kind of guy who really appreciates the craft and just loves working with actors, you know. And not that other directors don't do that, but you know, I just find that people that come from that world of, you know, he started out as a theater guy, as an actor, and then a writer, and then a director. You know, people that come from that world just have, you know, they just have a better understanding of it rather than coming from just the visual end of it.
So they have the conversation. I'm thinking that she doesn't leave her father in this scene.
I would like to be up if it's okay, because I think I'm really.
When the frisking happens, she's jazzed?
No, I just think, like, what I basically say is, look, I was just given the choice and I said no, you know. I don't know if I did the right thing. I think I'm very just stressed about it.
So you think it's starting to go boom, 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 boom?
I would like to try it at least with that.
Whatever it is, you've got to somehow get closer to him somehow in order to make that work. Yeah, you got to be able to get into that.
I mean, like, I will make it.
I'll
make
go.
it ugly.
You'll just leap.
Nasty. That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's watch. I think we have an idea then.
I mean, and then maybe it's a little.
Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
I just
let's
wonder,
watch it.
I just for that one little bitty piece in there, that is a kind of big part of this action. Is he going to come up and hold my hands? Is that kind of?
Where's it?
Like why once he snaps out a fist and grabs Diro's father's.
That's you.
No, I understand that, but I mean snap out a fist meaning that he has me. He's holding. Is that what
No,
that means?
no, he's not holding you.
No, okay, good.
He's not. He doesn't have his hands on you. You just suddenly, from wherever you are, go. Whack!
He snaps out a fist as means you, meaning Shane snaps out a fist.
And so then, I'm sorry, say that again.
Shane snaps out.
Shane snaps out a fist. That's you, meaning you grab him. That's
Okay, not snapping out of his fist.
Correct.
No.
Okay, and why am I doing that? To get out of this room? Is that? And you know me, I don't ask that very often. Ever, if ever, I ask that question.
Well, you
But
know
he
what?
asks
This is my
gun.
interpretation. You know what's dearest to her. It's kind of a stalemate right now. You're getting increasingly frustrated.
Yeah.
You know, it's sort of like when they have the guns trained in each other moment.
Yeah.
Except you have no gun.
That's right.
So the only thing that you've got is your bare hands to stop him. You know that she cares so much about him that you can get your gun back and get out of this room safely by keeping him under control.
Okay, so that's the
thing.
Because
you get your gun back.
You can't take the risk. You don't think maybe that he will hurt. You'll get hurt. But the fact is, you don't have a gun, and you're not going to take the chance of being walked out of this room without your gun.
That's exactly right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's right. Okay.
There are people down the halls and whatnot.
Right.
All right. So let's give them some extra room and let you guys play it, and then we'll address whatever concerns.
Well, it
we have.
means that when he does, like if I'm here, I would totally be boom.
Right,
I mean, I can't help it, so I have to. That means I have to somehow.
Yeah, well, we'll get this
right?
conversation if the conversation
Maybe it is
right up in here.
Yeah, maybe there's
But
a
you can't kill
problem.
fucking Vic's wife and kids. She says her thing.
And maybe that somehow that takes you away. You're
Yeah,
maybe in your uncomfortableness, what you're talking
yeah.
about, now you somehow switch and he's closer to Papa than you are.
Yeah.
Now the moment at the very end when he says, I want to build that whole, I don't know if I should trust Vic bullshit that's happening here. That's the thing that really interests me the most. You've told him the information, he's asking these questions, now he's doing this big sell in Pezuela, something that ties you into all of this. He needs something, a favor, something that ties into all this. Now that you're not looking away from him. What if we take that back to him? Something that ties you into all this and just look and look and look until he then decides to engage in your eyes, say, you know what, I'm going to get in the picture. So we can build that moment up. Okay. All right. That would be nice. Yeah. And then he gives you the picture, so you push the moment. Vic, challenge him a bit. He goes, now prove it to me.
Yeah, what you got?
What you got? And then he goes for it.
He knows the characters, knows the stories, as well as any director we're going to have. A lot of times, for myself, and I think a lot of actors do the same thing, when you ask a particular question, you're not really trying to challenge the line or the situation, but mostly you're just trying to program your head to make sure that you're approaching it correctly. You know, I'm thinking that it's going to be like, you know, red, blue kind of thing, and that's right? It's going to, well, it's a little more red, blue. and you kind of go, oh yeah, you know what? Yeah.
That's the bonus of having directors come back too, is they know the actors, they now have a shorthand with the actors trust them because they know we trust them because we brought them back, and it just makes the whole process much more smoothly.
Someone like Barclay, who has won Emmys as a television director, he brings something similar to Frank in that he brings an immense enthusiasm and spirit and excitement, we're glad to be here today kind of thing. And that enthusiasm, I think, seeps its way on to the screen in his episodes. So he's someone who really enjoys talking to actors and performance. And in both cases, they give you really interesting sort of filmic moments, but those filmic moments don't seem planned. They seem almost accidental, the way a documentary film might capture something interesting. So they have things in common, the way they bring excitement to the set. Paris is a more sort of visceral guy on the set. I think Frank is a more studied and thoughtful guy in terms of his approach. He really has a plan that I think comes from being a writer. As a writer, you see story, I need to do A, then B, then C. Paris is someone who I think has a real love of life and really sort of has an appreciation for moments. And I think would focus on specific moments in the episode to hit real hard.
It's a credit to the crew and to the writing and to the actors that we get great directors, because I just think they want to be a part of it, and so far we've been very lucky to get to the level of talent over here that we have.